Hey everyone, it's Graham here at therecordingrevolution.com. Hope you're having a fantastic week. Hope your mixes are going well this month if you're following along with our 3-month challenge. If not, then anytime you're mixing, anytime you're watching this video, I hope that you are making some great music. Today's tip is really quick, okay? Really quick, real simple. It's called the 2-volume technique, and this is really critical for just part of your workflow. If you're not already implementing a 2-volume technique in your workflow for mixing, then this will be a very helpful hack for you that will just help you get translatability, keep your ears fresh, help you notice things that your ears get used to, so that you make sure you're delivering a really great mix, not just a mix that in that moment you thought sounded good, right? You want it to actually be good out in the real world. And so one way to do that is to fiddle with volumes, because volume really tricks us. There's one reason why I've pushed for many years is to tell you not to mix at loud volumes. It's a big mistake. Mixing at low volumes is a great hack to make sure that you're delivering great mixes that sound punchy on all systems and all volumes, but you want to have at least a 2-volume technique. So if you have an audio interface that has a dim switch, or if you have a monitor control surface or a little mini mixing console or whatever that has a dim button, in essence, that's what we're creating. And so I'm going to assume that you don't have that, and I'll show you how to do this in your DAW. Any DAW can do this. You don't need any fancy plugins. You can do this for free right now. What we're going to do is basically create a switch we can flip on and off to just instantly drop the volume of your mix in 1 second, and so that we can reference things and notice things differently. If you mix at one consistent volume, that's great, but you will miss out on an opportunity to notice what's happening when you don't have the hype and the excitement of a louder mix. And so listening at really low volumes is really helpful, and I like to have a fixed volume I can flip back and forth so I'm not constantly dialing my monitor volume up or down and kind of being at different volumes, albeit close. I want to have 2 precise volumes. So you set your main mixing volume in your room on your speakers with your audio interface at a comfortable volume that you can mix. You can then, at the same time, you could have someone sitting next to you and you could talk to them, carry on a conversation with them, not having to raise your voice at all. That's a good general rule of thumb for the good mixing level. Now we want to create a lower mixing volume. So here I have a mix right here, and you can hear my typical volume, let's say. What I want to create is a dim switch, a 2-volume approach in my DAW. So I'm going to go to my mix bus here, and what you can grab is literally any stock EQ, compressor, trim plugin, gain plugin, mix tool if you have something specific. In Pro Tools, it's even easier. I mean, you can just literally grab a 1-band EQ. So you're passing audio through it. It's adding no color, nothing to your mix. It's literally just flat until you do something with it. And what I'm going to do is crank down the input to -16 dB. Why -16? It's a really healthy drop from where you're going to be. Anywhere in that range is fine. It could be -10, it could be -18, -20. Generally speaking, my dim switch on my monitor control setup hardware is set to about -16-ish, and I find that this gives me that jump that I need. So anytime this EQ or this plugin, or it could be a trim plugin or whatever, anytime this is on, it's going to make everything that's going through it -16 dB quieter. So when it's bypassed, then everything will sound normal. Okay? So in essence, now over here, where it says EQ3 1-band, I just know in my head that that's my dim switch. Leave it off at all times, and when I want to check my low volume, I flip it on. Right? So here it is, normal volume. Here it is, dim. Right? Huge drop. Bring it on. And now I have a real simple way to toggle between a normal healthy mix volume, which shouldn't be loud anyway, and then a super quiet mix volume where I can quickly just make sure everything's translating well. What are you listening for? Because this is the final part of the puzzle, and then we're done for the day. We're listening for a couple things. I'm always listening for kick and snare drum. Kick and snare drum to me, I'm a rock guy, I'm a pop guy, so drums are so critical. It's the same for hip hop. Drums are so great for modern music, no matter what the style. So you want to make sure that on really low volumes, background music, the speakers are far away, the punchiness of the kick and snare is still there. So a lot of times when I flip the dim switch on and drops the volume, I'm listening, can I still hear the kick and snare? And then I'm also listening to lead vocal. Those are my big three. If the kick and the snare are still popping through the mix nicely and the lead vocal is nice and clear over everything at that low volume, I feel like my mix is in a good spot. A lot of times I can also listen for bass. You're going to lose a lot of the low end, right? Because low end is hyped when you turn up the volume. But what you can notice is that upper mid range of the bass still present, so I can at least notice that the bass is there, hear the notes moving, may not feel it the way you want when you crank the bass. So I'm listening to kick, snare, vocal, maybe bass, and then just overall balance. Is something sticking out? Does something seem like it's poking out too much at a low volume? It's a great way to notice things. So all I'm going to do is just press play for a few seconds, flip back and forth with our dim switch, and just see what your ears pick up on, either good or bad, about the mix when it's at a lower volume that maybe you didn't notice at the higher volume. And here we go. There you go, right? You get the idea. You could hear the mix change, your ears perk up, they force your ears to reset for a minute, and it can at least illuminate something that maybe you missed before. The 2 volume technique, definitely implement this into your mixes if you haven't already done it. 2 fixed volumes is a great way to go. Comfortable mixing volume and then a super quiet volume. I do a -16 dB cut on a plugin in the DAW. It can be any plugin, just make sure that the plugin isn't actually compressing or changing the frequency response. Is flat. If you have a trim plugin or a gain tool, something like that is perfect. Just pull down the input and then bypass the plugin on or off. Go make some great music, everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Please subscribe to the videos if you like them. That way you know what's coming out next. If you haven't downloaded the ebook, it's free. It's called The #1 Rule of Home Recording. It's a whole section there on mixing, a whole section on buying gear, how to just save yourself money, save yourself time. It's free. It's for you. It'll help you along with all these videos. I got more to do for you. I got more posts to write for the mixing month. Some good stuff coming. We'll see you on another video soon. Take care.